You can see the memorial for the victims of the Danforth shooting here where the tragedy has taken place has actually grown considerably over the past 2 days as hundreds of people come by to pay their respects to the victims, the families, and the community at large. Now, while the shooting rampage in Toronto was caused by a lone gunman, ISIS, the Islamic State Group, is now taking responsibility. But police say there's no evidence that they were involved. Why would a group like ISIL or ISIS take credit, so to speak, for things that they have nothing to do with?
Well, they want to give the aura of relevance when in fact they're not relevant, right? So whenever something happens in the world, they seek to appropriate it for themselves to make it appear as though they're everywhere, when in fact they're not.
They do this deliberately to goad societies. They know that minority communities are facing backlash, strain, and pressure. They're trying to get the right messaging out. There's an interfaith vigil, and they hate that.
Mubin Sheikh is a former CSIS and RCMP operative, well-versed in terrorism, and says it's not unusual for ISIS to make fake claims.
Toronto police again affirming there's no ISIS link, which does beg the question, is ISIS just faking the claim? And I personally think they are. There's nothing to indicate here that, this guy is a ISIS acolyte.
It's a view shared by Toronto police, who remain the lead on the investigation into Faisal Hussein. In a statement, Police Chief Saunders writes, "At this stage, we have no evidence to support these claims. Accurate information about this investigation will only be released by the Toronto Police Service." Public Safety Minister Ralph Goodale says Hussein was not on any federal watch lists. But Sheikh says while the threat of terrorism is very low in Canada, there are nefarious persons operating within the country, and enforcement agencies are not turning a blind eye to them.
The threat is there. I mean, there are always bad guys currently plotting and planning. And yes, there are people, under surveillance and under investigation right now as we speak. But it's being managed. These people are under surveillance. They're being watched. There's a lot of mechanisms in place that we should really let the professionals do their work.
Mubin says the best thing that we can do is really come together as a community and support one another. And heading to the vigil tonight, for example, at Danforth and Bowden, that starts at 7 o'clock. Well, that's a pretty good start.